Hello, it's your favorite sports thunk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. You and I had a conversation last night.
Yes, sir.
About Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And Taylor Swift, I think she's been, how many games she's been to? 9. They're 9-3, right?
Right.
12 games. She's been to 12 games. Mm-hmm. They're 9-3 in which they played. And the network seems to go out of their way to make sure they show her. Obviously, anytime Travis Kelce does something, the camera will pan. They score, camera will pan.
Right.
Even if they're not doing anything, they go into commercial. They'll pan.
Yeah.
And so you and I was having a discussion. I say, Ocho, I don't think anybody moves the needle like Taylor Swift.
Right.
You say, give me a second. I think you had to go to the bathroom. You came back. You say, I got one. I said, who you got? You say, I got Beyonce.
Yeah.
And I said, Ocho, I don't think she moves the needle quite like Taylor. I understand that she is a global icon. She is a global brand unto herself like Taylor Swift.
Yes.
But I think the people are missing the conversation that you and I are having.
Right.
We're talking about what the NFL is trying to do. They're saying, we already got Jay-Z and Beyonce fans watching.
Yeah.
Now we need to get a different revenue stream.
I see where you're going. I like that. I see where you're going. I like that.
They're saying those young, and I'm not saying, so people take everything in its literal interpretation. Oh, so are you saying there are no adults that like Taylor Swift? Are you saying there's no blacks? No, I'm not saying that. But and we're trying to find the statistic that I think it was NBC had put on their screen about the young girls, the demographic. I think it was like 13 to 18 and like 18 to 24 that all of a sudden started watching and going to the games, and they saw a big increase in that situation. Ash sent me a stat today. Let me get it right quick, Ocho.
Let you finish your point, but I would like to counter that when you get done. So when I think about, you say we already have the Jay-Z and Beyonce's, the likes of them actually watching the game.
Their fans already watching.
I am one to also think, and I might be wrong, but hypothetically speaking, if the roles were reversed and Beyonce was Taylor and Travis Kelce was, just for the sake of saying it, with Jay-Z playing tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't want to put another individual on that
Beyonce.
unit they have that is special.
Correct. I get where you're going.
Yeah, I think the camera would still pan. I think the little girls that look up to Beyonce, that do sing and dance and adore her and what she's been able to do from a global aspect, also here in America, I think she would move the needle as well. Maybe not to the extent that you may see, or to the extent that Taylor's doing, but I think she's one of the few that also have the power to do this as well. And there's one that I didn't mention last night because I also didn't want to bring her up, but I think Rihanna has the ability
with ASAP,
of moving the needle the same way as well.
Because she sings and she's a brand as far as cosmetics with Fenty.
Yeah, huge.
So she has one thing going because we know what she does as far as in the music industry, and then she has a cosmetic brand that's probably bigger than her music. So she's what they call a double-edged sword. She's cutting left and right. Both sides, she's slicing it up.
Right.
But Ash gave me a stat. She said the lead checked its highest regular season female viewership since it began tracking in 2000, and the best regular season among 18 to 34-year-olds since 2019. From last year's regular season, this year's female viewership rose by 9%. Now, I'm not saying that's all Taylor Swift. I would be foolish and I would be naive. But I understand what the NFL is trying to do. There's a reason
you got to leverage. You got to leverage when it's hot. You got to leverage.
There's a reason for when the first time. What did they done, Ocho? For the first time, they put 2 playoff games on a streaming platform. Now, why would they do that? Because for the longest time, they wouldn't. They said, ESPN, we can't let you have a NFL a Super Bowl for the simple fact you pay. We want everybody to be able to see it. Just plug your TV in and you can watch it.
And no matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are.
What did they do this year, Ocho? Put it on a streaming service. And guess what people did?
Yeah.
Signed up and watched it.
Yeah, you have no choice. Yeah,
50, if I'm not mistaken, I think 50 million people. I think they put Buffalo. Wasn't it Buffalo and Kansas City that was on the streaming that Sunday night?
Yeah, I think so.
And I think it did like 50 million. Did 50 million views, which was the highest watched divisional game I think ever, if I'm not mistaken. Look that up, Chad. I know y'all will correct me. But see, here's the thing. We changed the variable. We're talking about right now. You say, well, if Beyonce was dating a football player, well, if you or I had Elon Musk or Bernard Hinault's money, we would be the richest men in the world. But we don't. We can't add that variable. We have to use what we have right now. You say, well, if it wasn't raining, or if this quarterback had that player, you're changing the variables. We have to use with what we have right now. Dolphins Chiefs. There's another game on Peacock the following week. Wasn't it? That was only one game on Peacock. Okay, Dolphins Chiefs, and that did 23 million then, 33 million.
Listen, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense
to the NFL.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, we all know what their bottom line is at the end of the day, and anything that they do, they're going to do it to make sure they can monetize on it. You know what's going to be next? I don't mean to bring it up. One of Stephen A's first things that Stephen A always loved to say: you got to stay off the weed. And when they find a way to manipulate it, where they can
monetize
from it,
they did. That's why they got dispensaries. That's why it's the same thing with alcohol. They used to be prohibition. They bootlegged it. But once the government found a way to tax alcohol, what did they do? They made it legal. Boom, made money. What did they do with weed? How many black and brown people are incarcerated for weed?
Yeah.
Now they found a way to monetize it. It's not merely. So guys, when Ocho and I, when we have a conversation, it's not about like or dislike. I'm not saying, and a lot of times we disagree. And that's not by, okay, Ocho, you got to take this side. I got to take that side. Well, Ocho, you took that side. We just disagree with certain things. This was not to say Taylor Swift is more talented or not. This is not to say she can sing better or not. This is not to say anything other than what the NFL is doing when they show her. This is what they're doing, and this is why they're doing it. So, and I did not say people, Complex, and there are other sites that said I said that Taylor Swift was big as Michael Jackson. I said she's the closest thing to
that we do have, and that we do have. That's a fact. And you people can argue that, but it's a fact. She's the closest thing that we have to it. But will there ever be anyone close to being able to do what Michael Jackson was able to do? Absolutely not.
Well, this is what I tell you what, Ocho, you and I was talking about this earlier. When Michael Jackson pop out on stage and people start fainting after they done paid $5,000-$10,000 for tickets and they missed the concert because they passed out, I'm going to say he or she is big as Michael Jackson. But until that happens, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Mike was different. I don't know if we're ever going to see anything like him again because we watched him as a child. The Jackson 5s, and then he went off on his own with Off the Wall, which was his first release, which was unbelievable. It might be his best work, although Thriller got more commercial success with album sales. It's hard for me to believe that Off the Wall wasn't his best work.
Now, there's another branch we can take this tree off of based on the conversation, as far as we talk about from an entertaining aspect, as far as stage presence and actually watching and commanding the eye from an entertainment aspect, the way Michael Jackson did when it comes to entertaining. Now we do have maybe two, maybe three that have that type of stage presence the way Michael did. For one, Beyonce, when it comes to performing. I'm not sure for those in the chat that have had the opportunity to see Beyonce perform in person. To me, that equates to the same effect of seeing Michael perform live. If you've seen, some people might not agree with this. If you ever seen Chris Brown perform live,
he can move.
Man, listen, I'm talking about from an entertaining aspect.
Yes.
Stage presence and what like very Michael Jackson-ish. I'm not saying he's Michael Jackson. I'm talking about from an entertainment aspect when it comes to performing and putting on.
James Brown was the originator of that.
Yeah,
James Brown was the first singing and dancing. The move that you see Prince and all that other stuff. It was James.
You know how
James be up there.
And you know how hard that is to to dance and still sing and be able to control your voice so everything comes out the right way?
Bro, listen, I don't know if you've ever been to a Beyonce concert, but I
Yeah.
give her the utmost respect because if you remember Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, I said Ginger Rogers had the hardest job.
About Fred now.
Because here's the thing, she did everything Fred Astaire did, she did it backwards and in heels. When you watch Beyonce got on 3 5-inch heels and she's nonstop. Singing, dancing, she's all over the place. Quick change, she's back at it again, and she's getting you 2 hours of work.
Yeah.
You have to be impressed with that. Look, and that's not a knock on people that just go and they sing like Adele. I love Adele concert because Adele, not only does she sing, she's a storyteller. She tells you where she was, the state of mind she was in, what she was thinking when she wrote this song, and where she is now. If you've ever seen a concert, kind of like John Legend. I saw John Legend in concert at the Hollywood Bowl. He's another storyteller, has a very interesting story. But Beyonce, to be able to do that, is like a DB. You have to have, I say DBs are more athletic than wide receivers because they're doing everything the wide receiver does, but he's doing it backwards.
Yeah.
That's why you have the respect. That's why people like Beyonce and people that sing, dance, and entertain for 2 hours, that's why y'all have to give them so much more respect, because do you understand? And don't miss a beat. And if they do miss a beat, you don't know it.
You don't see it. Matter of fact, I forgot what tour was on where Beyonce she slipped a little bit. She slipped a little bit when she went low, but you didn't notice it because she stayed on beat. And what people don't get to see, I think if people were able to see, this is why I like when Beyonce had a documentary, so it takes you through everything that she's going through to get to what people get to see when they show up to watch the show. All we get to see is the finished product. When it comes to rappers, when it comes to artists, all we know is the music that they put out and not all the work that goes into it. So you get a better understanding on why she is great as she is. Listen, I told a story last night. I think it went over a lot of people's heads when I told them, listen, I helped with some of Beyonce's choreography. I used to be a backup dancer, at times,
way back.
Yeah, way back. This is like 2015, 2014. I was a backup dancer, so I've seen the work that she's...
More like 1915.
No. 2015. Yeah, I've seen the work that she's put in to reach the stratosphere in which she's at now, and it's unbelievable to see what she's become. Just based on me being there and learning the choreography and dancing and helping out. So I feel like I'm a part of that journey as well.
But that's why when you look at these you look at Mahomes, you look at Brady, and you see their heroics on Sunday. Do you know actually how much time they put in during the week with film study and practice? People don't understand. You think they just like show up and they just listen.
They make mostly it look easy, They make it look so easy.
Exactly. But do you know how many hours that you have to study to know, okay, in this down and distance, in this area of the field, and this time of the game, this is what defense they like to run, and you got to just spit that out instantaneously. It's nonstop computer. And that's why I got it's like when I got done, people like, you ain't go out to do what? Do you understand the mental grind that I was on for the last 2.5 hours? I don't really want to talk. I don't want to do anything. I just want to go home and relax. I'm fried. I got blitz. I got a block. I got a check. I got to make sure everybody knows what they need to do. Got my responsibility.
Right.
Man, and that's only a tenth of what a quarterback has to know.
Yeah.
You understand what Patrick Mahomes, what is on Patrick Mahomes' plate, Brady or a Peyton Manning. I don't even want to know how many hours Peyton spent studying tape and watching, but it's over the monotony of it. So, guys, hopefully I offer some clarifications, because this was not Shannon thinks this, Shannon thinks that. And there are a lot of people in Ash's DM said, man, Shannon talk about there are adults, there are big girls, older girls, young ladies that like Taylor Swift. But I think you're missing the point of what I'm trying to say, of what NFL is trying to do. Peacock streaming only NFL wildcard game drove a record 2.8 million signups. That makes the Chiefs-Dolphins game the single biggest subscriber acquisition in the event has ever measured. 2.8 million times basically $5 million a year I mean, a month. It's $5 a month, excuse me. That's $14 million worth of additional revenue. So that's what.
You know what it is.